And ladies and gentlemen, the officiating crew for today's match is as follows. Our referee, Joshua Encarnacion. Our assistant referee, Tom Felice. Assistant referee, Patrick Casey. And the fourth official, Christian Centeno. It's now time to announce tonight's starting lineup. First up, the visiting Hartford Athletic. In goal, wearing number 13, Jeff Caldwell. On defense, wearing number 20,
'21 finally has arrived for the USL Championship season, the first full weekend of action as the USL Championship ready to roll on here on ESPN+. David Goss and Connor Lade with you from MSU Soccer Park. And Connor, we are very excited.
We are thrilled to be back here, Dave. We got fans in the seats, something we haven't seen in quite a long time. We're thrilled to be back, and we're excited to have you guys here today.
And so much riding on this first game as New York Red Bulls 2, for the first time in their 7-year existence, did not make the postseason in 2021, returning to the field and trying to turn it back around, a club that has won a championship and been to 3 Eastern Conference finals in their short time. Going to turn the page, and it's against the Hartford Athletic team that did make the playoffs, winning Group F last year. A lot of new pieces, a new coach, but one constant is Danny Barrera.
Yeah, Danny Barrera, the longest tenured player for Hartford Athletic. He leads the franchise in assists, games played. He had a very strong 2020, 2 goals, 7 assists, but most importantly, he's a leader on the field and off the field for this very young Hartford side. Coach Harry Watling is going to really lean on him for his guidance with this truly young team.
And a lot of new pieces for New York Red Bulls, too, as well. On the flip side, one constant looking to get even better in year 2 is leading goal scorer from last season, Omar Sow.
Yeah, Omar Sow, a huge bright spot in 2020 for this RB2 team, leading the charge with 7 goals. Spent the preseason with New York Red Bulls first team, drawing great reviews. You can see here all the ways he can hurt different teams, chips, flicks, quality goals. He's got it all, and we're hoping to see a lot of that this year.
Well, we know when these two teams match up, it has been a great rivalry so far. A ton of Hartford Athletic fans in the building, ready to see their team, along with New York Red Bulls 2 fans as well. We've got kickoff coming up in just a moment here on ESPN+.
Every year, the average person generates nearly 1 ton of waste, with more than 250 million tons of garbage being buried in U.S. landfills annually. At Covanta, we are working to change that and ensure no waste is ever wasted. We believe the materials discarded every day should be utilized to their fullest potential to preserve the world's valuable resources and generate clean energy for our communities and the world we live in. This is how Covanta is powering today and protecting tomorrow.
We believe healthcare can keep getting better. That we can make it simpler, kinder, and even more miraculous. So we'll keep pushing ourselves to make our best even better. Because that means you will keep getting better too. Hackensack Meridian Health. Keep getting better.
Yeah, Red City.
I'm a Verizon engineer, part of the team that built 5G right, the only one from America's most reliable network. We designed our 5G to make the things you do every day better. With 5G nationwide, millions of people can now work, listen, and stream in Verizon 5G quality. And in parts of many major cities where people can use massive capacity, we have ultra-wideband, the fastest 5G in the world. This is the 5G that's built for you. This is 5G built right, only from Verizon.
There we are, right in the sun. I had to bend down, Connor left. So, David Goss and Connor Lane with you here from MSU Soccer Park. As you can see, fans are back in the stands. We are so excited to get started here for 2021. Of course, at a limited capacity, socially distanced. Hartford Athletic rolling out their first ever lineup under new head coach Harry Watling, and it hasn't been an easy one for him to put together. He's only got 14 players available to him, so a lot of mixing and matching. We talked to him yesterday. He still didn't know what the full team was, but a solid central midfield for this group of experience that they'll build off of in this one. And on the flip side for New York Red Bull too, also a lot of mixing and matching for Coach Wolenek.
Yeah, you look at the lineup here. You got Manny Egbo coming down with the first team, moving into center back. Joey Zielinski, who we saw playing center back, playing right back. Mixing and matching, but we got a lot of young faces out here that we're excited to see. Daniel Edelman, Wiki Carmona from the first team, Omar Sow, like we talked about in the pregame, hoping to fill this score sheet here today.
And there's the man, John Wolenek. He's the only one who's ever coached New York Red Bulls too, but he didn't make the postseason for the first time last year. You could feel a little bit of that edge for him coming into this season.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, when you set the standard so high in previous years, and anything but playoffs excellence is going to be falling short, and I know he's excited to get this season going with a little bit more normalcy.
And you saw there Harry Watling, 31 years old, the youngest head man in all of USL Championship, his first game as a head coach at the highest level, coming out of the West Ham, Millwall, and Chelsea academies in England. You see our 4 officials, Joshua Encarnacion, our head man for this one, as he gets the whistle blown on the 2021 season for New York Red Bulls 2 and the Hartford Athletic New York Red Bulls 2 in their home red kits with red shorts. going left to right on your monitors, and Hartford Athletic in their road grays here, top to bottom. They were dominant last year in this matchup. 4 wins in 4 games against New York Red Bulls 2. We've talked about a lot of changing pieces, but Hartford wants to keep that going.
Absolutely, yeah, and especially under a new coach. He's excited to have this group. I know it's an opportunity that he couldn't pass down, like you mentioned in the pre-match talking to him. And like you said, they were dominant last year, and I don't think Red Bull 2 has forgotten that. Clearly, they are looking to get some revenge here today, and what a better opponent to start with.
Michael Knapp pressured hard there, and the ball goes off the foot of Juan Carlos Auberjan and out along the end line. So 6 returning players for Hartford Athletic from a team that won Group F last year, put together the second most points in the USL Championship over the course of what was a wild and wacky regular season, as was the whole world in 2020. And we're so glad all of you are back with us to watch another season here as Omar Sow gets on the end of that ball. Opportunity for Hartford to get some defensive presence there. Michael Knapp, one of the many academy players on loan with this New York Red Bull 2 side in this starting lineup.
I think he's going to feel quite comfortable here today in the friendly confines of Montclair State University, though.
And a lot of these players got pushed last year because of COVID restrictions and the way the season played out. There was minutes and opportunity for a lot of young players to get their chances, many of which were able to put their stamp down and keep that spot, including, as you said, Joey Zielinski, who was supposed to be back with the academy, got starts at center back, ended up starting 6 games for New York Red Bulls 2 at center back last year, and now gets a chance at right back for John Wolinek's side.
And those are the opportunities that you're talking about with Coach Wolinek, in under unnormal conditions, giving opportunities to young players, and they make the most of it, and then they're rewarded with getting more games here today. And so it's an exciting opportunity for Joey Zielinski, Matty Acosta. You look around the field, there's so many young players getting the chance here today, and they're always willing to, give them those opportunities. It's just on them to make the most of them.
Good pressure here from Hartford, and you talk about opportunities. This is a huge one for the players on the field for Hartford Athletic. A new coach, a lot of new players, and as we said, only 14 players available for this game, including Walmar Martinez, who was moved into the starting lineup about 24 minutes ago. This is a guy who came out of Division II soccer, didn't really play in 2020 because of COVID, came to an open tryout, gets a spot on the team about a week and a half ago, and now he's getting a chance at the last minute to start. This is a huge opportunity for him.
Absolutely, huge opportunity. If anything, these games are all but exciting. So, this is going to be an awesome opportunity for Martinez. I think, this whole Hartford side has a lot to prove to Coach Harry Watling, and we know that they're going to be raring to go today.
And Jeff Caldwell gets his first touch on the ball in his first season with Hartford. Spent last year with the New England Revolution, full-time starter for Memphis 901 2 years ago in USL, as Carmona's shot gets blocked. LaCava now on the ball in the box and has it knocked away at the last minute there. Some good defending in the end from Ashati, getting the start at right back for this Hartford Athletic side. So Ashati, more of a defensive midfielder, starting at right back. Connor McGlynn partnering Thomas Jagian at center back. Gabby Torres, who was so successful last year as a left wing back, getting the start at left back in this 4-3-3 last year under Rai Jaidi. It was a 5-3-2. And as we said, this is a team that last year in a shortened COVID year had more points than they had 2 years ago in a full season when they were the second worst team in the Eastern Conference. So a lot of success last year. You feel it in the club, but it's a different group. How do the players continue this and carry this over?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be difficult. They set the standard so high last year, and Coach Jaidi really had this team humming on every facet of the game. They're a very formidable opponent. And so it's definitely going to be a big undertaking, not only for Coach Watling, but each of these players. And I think they're going to lean on the 6 returners, to really keep those standards high and remind this club where they have been. And I know they're looking to even build on that in this 2021 season.
Flying forward, New York Red Bulls 2 into the attack. That one clipped over the head of Jake LaCava. It's Jeremy Raffanello, one of the new faces for this New York Red Bull 2 side. Along that right wing, welcome in Carmona, getting the start at the number 10 position, loaned down from the MLS side. A big prospect for New York Red Bulls, and New York Red Bulls too, a Venezuelan youth international, one of the players that's been talked about a lot coming into this season.
Absolutely, yeah, a player that was a big signing, youth international from Venezuela. He's come into this team, this club, with a lot of expectations. They like what they've seen from him so far. He's a creative midfielder, can play that 10 spot, can play all over the midfield. Silky left foot, and he's going to be a big creator here today, and one who's going to really have this team going and finding a lot of success is going to run through him.
Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Jeff Caldwell clips that beautiful Select Sport America ball up the line. Caldwell will be a big part of the experience for this team. Former NYCFC draft pick, so familiar to the area, of course. New England Revolution and now Hartford Athletic. And big shoes to fill. Parfait Mandanda, starting goalkeeper last year, had an assist against New York Red Bulls too. So Jeff Caldwell, a lot to live up to in this first start.
I said the standards were high, didn't we? And I don't think he's feeling the pressure to fill the stat sheet, but I don't know if he's seen that goal. But if he has, I'm sure there is a little bit of pressure, and you can see him trying to build out of the back, and that's something that I think is very welcome for Red Bull 2. I think these, him playing those balls out of the back. You've seen Matty Acosta pressure a couple, win one. That one he hesitated a little bit, but those are going to be the cues that they're going to be looking for, especially a team that Harry Watling said that they want to play out of the back. This is going to be a team that wants to dominate the ball. I think that's very welcome information for this Red Bull 2 team, because if there's anything we learned from them in the past, they like to operate without the ball and really counter.
And a little bit of information for both sides. They did play in a friendly a few weeks ago. It was a 2-1 win for Hartford Athletic. A lot of moving pieces for the two sides, a lot of trialists and number on the field with no names, but they still have identities. They just don't have names. 2-1 win, though, for Hartford in that game. Sebastian Elney, who's on the bench, former New York Red Bull 2 player from the last 2 years, had a goal in that one, as did Juan Carlos Oberjan, who gets the start at center forward today. And that name sounds familiar. It's because he broke USMNT fans' hearts over the last few weeks, scoring the opening goal for Honduras U23s in the semifinal of Olympic qualifying to knock out the U.S. U23s. And then since then has gotten himself a contract after 2 years with Rio Grande Valley here with Hartford.
He's having a decent couple months for himself there.
He scored from a very similar position to this, a header on the far post in that game. We'll see what Danny Barrera and Arthur Rogers, two central midfielders, have cooking here. Barrera, as we said, 3 assists against New York Red Bulls 2 in his career. Number 10 with the left-footed strike, and it's over the head of Luca Lewis's goal. First opportunity to threaten there for the Hartford Athletic. As I said, 35 points last season to win Group F. 6 more points than the 2019 season in about half the games, which is just incredible to see. And that momentum, this franchise hopes, will continue. Dillon Stadium hosting 2 more games in May at 50% capacity, and then expected to open up at 100% capacity for the May 29th match against Real Monarchs. So a lot of excitement in the Nutmeg State for this Hartford Athletic side. Costa up the line. Carmona can't bring it in, and it'll roll out for a Hartford Athletic throw in. So game 1, especially with one of the longest off seasons we've ever seen, what are the players going through? What's the conversation like on the field?
Yeah, I think this is what they've been waiting for here. I know there's going to be a lot of excitement. I think you have that initial buzz, that shot of adrenaline, and then I'm sure it's going to be, there's definitely going to be some tired legs out there in the beginning here, so it's just kind of getting through these first 20 minutes. I know Rebel 2 is going to want to put a stamp on it. They want to start fast, and on the opposite side, Hartford does as well. So I think it's going to be very interesting here, but at the end of the day, this is exactly what they've been working for all offseason to get back to this point, and they want to start fast in this league, and there's one way to do it, and that's here today.
Or Hartford. This would be a big way to start the year, as you said. They head to Miami for their next game in the Atlantic Division. New setup for 2021 in USL, 4 divisions across the time zones, across the United States. 8 teams in every division except the Mountain Division, which has 7 teams. 1 team got lost in the mountain. I thought about that joke like an hour ago. Wasn't going to make it. Ended up doing it. Worked out okay.
Glad you penciled that one in.
Thanks. Got to bring the dad jokes for a new father over here. Connor Lade, congratulations for your number 2, which I assume is big center forward, back to goal type player.
Clearly. Any of my kids are going to be massive, as you can tell. Yeah, I only breed outside backs, so, small, work hard, no fuss.
Well, Bradford Jamison likes to eat up outside backs. Gets that ball into the box. Finally cleared away there. Second opportunity coming here for Hartford. Costa clears it away. Bradford Jamison, the 4th, his first opportunity to get on his horse and attack that defense. A name many of you will be familiar with. Long-time LA Galaxy player. Spent a year on loan with San Antonio. A lot of time with LA Galaxy too. Scored his first MLS goal at Red Bull Arena about 5 years ago, 6 years ago now, in 2015. Still only 24 years old now. That tells you how young he was when he scored that goal. Not tape Sal Zizzo should go back and rewatch, by the way.
Yeah, I remember that goal. Yeah, it's pretty wild for a 24-year-old how much experience he is. And we talk a lot about Danny Barrera, but I think they're going to lean on him as well. And I think it's a relationship that Coach Watling has been very excited about building with him and kind of nailing down his position that he talked about and really getting him filling up score sheets because he knows he's going to be a really big player for this team to have success. And so this Hartford side is going to lean on him greatly. And, again, blows my mind a little bit, 24 years old and how he's been playing forever.
And he talked about he's always been on teams with big stars, big names, won an MLS Cup in 2015 with some big name players like a Robbie Keane, like a Landon Donovan. And he said, as this opportunity gets into the box here for Auberjon, looking for a player to lay it off to. Finally gets it to Torres. Torres so dangerous with his left-footed service. It's a box, and Barrera puts it in. Who else but the captain? The longest tenured player, Mr. Hartford himself, and Danny Barrera gets 2021 started the way he finished 2020.
Talked about in the pregame. That's the danger man right there, and that's one they're going to have to keep track of all game. Just finds that spot. You can see Torres do so well to be aggressive. He gets by Zielinski, whips in a great ball, and you can't leave Barrera unmarked there. It just finds the hole between Knapp and Egbo, and just great goal there for them.
Torres, 2 assists last year from that wide position for Hartford. It helps get this year started the way they finished off. Danny Barrera, the captain, the man we've talked about all game. 2 goals, 7 assists last year. 5 goals his first year with Hartford. And you can see why, as I said, Coach Watling wanted to make sure he was coming back and why he's such a key piece to everything that this team does.
I think Danny Barrera might be buying some real estate in Montclair, New Jersey. It just seems to work here. Something in the air for him. It's always seemed to have success here, and you can see why he means so much to this Hartford side.
31 years old for a team that has all but 5 players under the age of 24. He is the lone veteran in this group. What a perfect way to put the team on his back here in week 1 and make things just a little bit easier for a lot of these young guys. Chance over the top, Egbo chasing. Finally back to the feet of Lewis, Luca Lewis, making his debut the back half of the 2020 season. New York native, was over in Italy playing in the Torino Academy over the last few years. Beautiful football right here. I don't know why I said that. Beautiful soccer and football. I talked to Harry Watling too much yesterday. He got me all locked in, the young English coach. He is so excited for this challenge. Got his UEFA B license at 18 years old. UEFA A license a few years after that. a number of years in the Millwall Academy, Chelsea Academy under Jose Mourinho, and all of the legends at Chelsea, and then West Ham the last few years, which has established itself over the last 50 years as one of the great academies in England. So a man who knows the game, has worked at a high level at such a young age, this is a huge opportunity for him.
Yeah, talked to him yesterday, and I think we were both pretty amped up after talking to him. The excitement was palpable. You could tell he was just itching to get this season started, and I think he's clearly got this team ready to go. Get an early go here will take a lot of pressure off this team. They can really get after it, settle in this game, and I'm going to be looking at this Red Bull 2 team and see where this leadership's going to come from. I think a lot's going to fall on Manny Egbo. Speaking of experience, he's played at a very high level for a long time, and we can see how we can get them out of this hole.
Served in here, knocked away off of the head of Emir Tambouli, making his U.S. debut. Martinez gets to the end line, floats the ball in, still alive and in play. And finally the whistle goes as it goes over the end line. So windy that the ball got blown back onto the field. Another dangerous opportunity for Hartford here on the road.
I'll take the wind rather than the sun. I didn't bring any sunscreen here today, so.
Sun's starting to set here at MSU Soccer Park. Beautiful conditions. It feels like soccer season. The grass, the water out, all the players ready to go. All the fans very excited for this one. Carmona now turns upfield into the feet of LaCava. Well done there from Connor McGlynn. Glenn's going to be one of a few utility players for Coach Watling this season who can kind of swap in and out. Central midfield, center back, as well as the fullback positions.
Yeah, it was interesting hearing him talk about his process of picking his squad. He really likes interchangeable players with tactical versatility. Likes his back line to be able to move into that 6 role. He likes, he calls it his open diamond in the midfield with his 210s, being able to move wide and come inside as well. So definitely a team who likes versatile players, and you can tell that these players are interchangeable and can leave him with a lot of options in formations.
And key for a group this week, as we said, that short-handed to say the least, so a few players have been forced into some uncomfortable positions, including the man who just threw that ball in, Shiti, starting at the right back spot. Martinez losing possession to LaCava. Good counter press there from Hartford, and now New York wins it back, and Omar Sow is off and running. Slide tackle from behind, and Rogers will pick up the first card of the season for either of these two teams. Arthur Rogers in his second year with Hartford, one of those few returning players, a London native. Started his USL Championship career down in Texas with Rio Grande Valley. And now on the field here again for Hartford.
That was a nice little piece of play there from Omar Sow, counter-pressing, immediately after losing the ball. And I think that's something Wally's been really talking to him about and has been excited about, that Omar, even in the preseason, he's really been covering ground, sprinting around, showing commitment in the defensive side. We know he can fill the stat sheet, but it's going to be those other little intangibles that are going to really make his mark this year.
Good work in midfield there from Hartford. Threw ball just a little bit too far. Opportunity for Egbo to recover, as you said. Egbo, natural right back, came in to New York Red Bulls last year at the MLS level, but a lot resting on his shoulders to play at center back. Lamine Conte, a player that New York Red Bulls too are very excited about, Louisville graduate, still working out some visa issues to be a part of this team, so he'll be an option at center back going forward. And we see here Amir Tamboul getting his first start. Soccer's a weird sport. You go all over the place, players play everywhere, but Tamboul, 20 years old, that classic Turkish youth international who came up through a Swiss academy, signed for a Belgian side, loaned to a Portuguese second division team, and now he plays for New York Red Bulls too.
There you go. And I believe his father spent some time in Livingston, New Jersey, so familiar with the area. But yeah, it's a pretty crazy journey that he's been on. But I know Coach Wolinek's been really excited with not only what he's brought on the field, but his personality. He feels like he's got good personality, can grow into a good leader for this team. You know, he's got the good height for a center back, and he's a good two-footed player, which they've been excited about.
Martinez trying to get around Acosta there, and a foul will go in Acosta's favor. And 6'4", can play with both feet, moves well. You can see why there's so much excitement for that player. Across USL, a big week, a big year coming. The USL is committed to supporting the LGBTQ plus community through the Forever Proud project. The USL will strive to create safe and welcoming environments for all fans, players, employees, and partners. Learn more at uslsoccer.com/forwardforever-proud. Huge initiative for the league across the country. So good to see USL continuing to lead in so many of the social issues around the United States. Saw so many of the players speak out over the course of the last year, really use their voices. It's good to see the USL continuing to push that message in 2021 as Acosta goes in with the slide tackle.
Good little tackle there from Matty Acosta. Talking to John Wolenek, you know, a little bit similar with moving guys around in the formation, trying to figure out, you know, where they can be impactful for this side. He said that Acosta may normally be a 6, and now he's playing at left back, but he showed well in preseason there, so he's giving them another shot there. So I'm sure for these academy guys, they're, you know, if I'm in their shoes, I'm playing anywhere to get on this field, play in front of these fans, and wear this badge. So very exciting time for all these young players.
Sheety has it knocked away. Barrera able to shield it out for another throw and takes it quickly to the path of Martinez. Carmona with a little bit of a shove. No foul coming here as he tries to dribble out of the box. Dangerous moments for New York. And finally, Tambul clears it away. And Omar Sow going to get his team back into the attack quickly. Wanted to cut it back for LaCava. And you can see the frustration there for Sow.
Yeah, I think Omar's going to be disappointed looking back on that one. I think he got caught in two minds there. He had Raffanello, Darton. He had Jake LaCava, Darton, and then he kind of the way he hit it was always going to go to Jeff Caldwell. But, you know, in the end, I think that's kind of something that we've been talking about with John Wolenek is cleaning up that final play, you know, get consistent. And I think that's been all part of the process for Omar and his maturity. And I think it's going to be a big storyline for us to watch this year is, you know, how consistent he can be, not only getting goals, but also setting everyone up.
And what's fascinating about both Omar and Jake LaCava, who have been connected over the course of the offseason, they were really the only two returning players, two young attackers, led the team in goals combined over the course of last season as Jamison, the fourth, comes flying forward, just a little bit too long on the touch there, is really everything John Wolenek made his career around as a player, is what they're both looking to learn. And if they get it, the ceiling feels limitless for these two players as LaCava lays this one off for Carmona. He dribbles into a cul-de-sac.
That's looking like Red Bull 2 gets in that final third. It's just missing a little bit. It's that final pass, maybe a touch too big there from Camarano. Maybe he could have played that first time to Sow. I think it's just a little bit of a disconnect right now that they're going to have to clean up if they're going to try to get back in this game.
So the offside flag going up there as Auberjan returned from an offside position. Try and make that play. Carmona with the layoff there towards Raffanello. Taken back by Rogers. And the big clearance from Zielinski to get it safe. Zielinski and Acosta, two academy players on the field, both committed to go to Rutgers University when their time is done. Acosta, the child of two Rutgers grads, so a lot of family pride in there. You're a big Scarlet Knight fan, right?
Don't even start here, Dave.
I'm just saying, you know, Northeast schools, red, they're all the same.
Dave Mazer is not too far away from here. Don't make me get him up here in this booth.
I can actually feel the ground shifting underneath me right now. Of course, John Wolenek, a Fordham grad himself. Free kick going in favor of Hartford. Coach Watling talking to us, as you said, coming into this game. About his excitement for this group. Was honest and said last year was great. The way the league really fell, Group F was maybe a little bit of a soft group, and so there's somewhere in the middle where Hartford probably levels out, and that's where he's got to find his performances and his results this year. And you couldn't assume that last year's team would step in this year and do great. And, of course, it's not even last year's team. But he's got to find that thin line that he can walk here early on. But I think you hire a 31-year-old coach for his first job. You know there'll be some growing pains, but it's someone you believe in to be around long term.
Absolutely, especially when you have a season like you had last year. You can go a couple different ways in that hiring process, but you look at his pedigree. Clearly, like you mentioned, been groomed in front of some of the best academies over in England, and I think they're excited about the direction they're going with this club. Obviously, built a great foundation last year, but this is a new year, and he knows that they were fortunate in the group that they fell in last year, and he knows that it's going to be a little bit more challenging this year. So it'll be interesting to see how they do.
It'll be Rogers to serve this one in. Goes short to the feet of Perpa. Jamison out wide for Barrera. He missed the run of Rogers. Barrera able to recover it and then cleared away by New York. Good intricate play, something you're very familiar with off of set pieces.
Spent a lot of time practicing those set pieces, and it definitely one ambitious one there. I like the setup there from Hartford. Just a little bit of a disconnect, but you can tell Harry Watling has definitely got this team interested in set pieces, and I'm sure we're going to see a couple more interesting ones today.
Knapp playing it up into the feet of Carmona. Raffanello swapping wings here. Couldn't play it along for Vilcomin Carmona. Young Venezuelan youth international getting the start at the number 10 position. Part of what is a good young attacking core for this New York Red Bull 2 team. Austin Brummett on the bench here today. We expect to see a good amount of time from him at the 9, at the 10, on the wings. A lot of versatility in this attack. Luther Archimede, the first-round draft pick for New York Red Bulls. Not available today because of visa issues, but will be a part of that attacking core, as well as Serge Ngoma going forward.
Yeah, I think speaking with John Wolnick, they're chock full of 9s here. And so I think if he could play 4 along the front line, I think he'd be just fine. But it definitely, they've got versatile guys. And I think he's talked about Omar Sow, where he could play him when, say, a more strict Luther Archimede comes back into the equation. So it'll be interesting to see how, different formations and plug-and-play players. And, you see Jeremy Raffanello getting a start today, another 9.
Mm-hmm.
Played with Indy 11 last year, another Jersey guy. And so it's very interesting. I know he's the expectations, they weren't sure what they were going to get out of him when he came in here, but was pleasantly surprised when they got him on and see what he could do. And so very exciting young group of attacking players. And, you'll see maybe a couple guys more from the first team, whether that's an Omir Fernandez. You never know what you're going to see here. And so it's exciting to see this young attacking group. And I think another emphasis is going to be this defending group. That's going to be ultimately what's going to keep them successful this year.
And for New York Red Bulls, too, you often see a lot of turnover year to year, but some consistency along the back line. Evan Loro, a number of years. Jordan Scarlett, a number of years with this group. Preston Kilwine, 2019 and 2020. That player doesn't really exist. Manny Egbo sort of stepping into that role for New York Red Bulls, too. So as you said, the test is going to be defensive, and we saw Danny Barrera already breaking through as Raffanella hits a long one. Likes to hit a knuckleball.
Yeah, talked with Jeremy Raffanello in a preseason interview, and
super nice guy, right?
Very nice guy. I got to learn a little bit about him on and off the field, and I'm going to book a training exercise with him. He said he's going to teach me how to knuckle, so maybe you can tag along and we can make it a 2-for-1 special.
And he's not all talk, right? Pulled it out first half of the first game, as well as Rogers. It's on the ball here, putting Edelman on skates there. Sheety can't keep possession for his side, so throwing coming for New York. Daniel Edelman here, one of the most exciting prospects in this New York Red Bull 2 side, signing a professional contract with NYRB2 just a few weeks ago. So he will be a part of this group for the entire year and hopefully more going forward. As Egbo hits the big switch for Acosta. Macava immediately under pressure. A big clearance by McGlynn just to get it out of danger.
Yeah, Daniel Edelman, definitely a player that Red Bull 2 fans are excited about. I know in the preseason, I think there was a couple people who snuck in the garage here, got some footage of him. I think he put in a couple good performances, and I think he's going to be a big part of this team this year. Just turned 18, I believe, 2 days ago, so he's fresh off the 18-year-old celebration. Talking to John Wallneck about him, he gave him a little bit of comparison to it. Dax McCarty, speaking of birthdays, shout out Dax McCarty, happy birthday today. But definitely a big comparison to hear there. But as much as he is maybe a smaller frame, he says he's got a switch that he can flip, and he's got some fire, and they almost try to dial him back a little bit because he's always logging super high numbers in training. And let's see what we got here from Zielinski.
Zielinski forward for Raffanello, and his shot blocks. So out for the first corner kick of the game for New York Red Bulls 2 coming here. And so if you, like Dax McCarty, are at home on his birthday watching us, we are so thankful for you to be a part of this game, but you have so much more soccer coming up and some big ones. 18 nationally televised games for the regular season coming for the USL on ESPN2, including tonight, getting it all started with one of the newest budding rivalries in the USL Championship as San Diego Loyal, 10 p.m. Eastern time, face off against Phoenix Rising FC. So the best team from last season against one of the up-and-coming franchises out in California. It's going to be a big one as Edelman plays this ball in. Headed away by McGlynn. New York trying to get a second bite at it. Your old buddy Sal Zizzo probably on the field for that one.
Got Sal, you got Corey Herzog, my old roommate.
Chance here for LaCava. First big chance of the game. Not Herzog-esque in that finish.
Great little ball there from Daniel Edelman. As you can see, he's trying to raise the level right now, get a little spark under this team. They're finally getting a couple chances. Raffanello just before this, and you can see recycled play, gets it out to LaCava. I think this is, an opportunity for him, maybe take that down a little bit. He was always falling backwards and maybe try to unbalance the defense like we know he can. But I think they're desperate right now to try to get something on net, and I think you can tell from that shot that they're just trying to light a spark under this team. And so definitely better from Red Bull 2 here.
Long ball out. Martinez in an onside position. Lewis read it really well and puts it into the stands.
Really good play there from Luca Lewis to come off his line. I think if he doesn't do that, it's surely one-on-one there with Martinez, and I think that's a play there. I think the back line got caught sleeping a little bit. The wind looked like it held up that ball a bit, so you got to be ready for not only the wind, but late runners, and Martinez almost got away with one there.
Martinez using his hand there. The whistle goes. David Goss and Connor Lade with you for the opener of the 2021 USL Championship season. Technically week 2. There was 2 games last week. We'll get to all that at halftime. 10 games over the course of the weekend here. You can catch 9 of them on ESPN+. So make sure you've had your subscription. And, of course, that big one, as I said, coming up on ESPN2. Mike Watson, Devin Kerr on the call for that one. Should be a phenomenal start to the season. Really good news coming out of the San Diego Loyal camp over the course of this preseason as they build up talent in year 2. Kava can't get that one wide. And of course, Samuel Asante, always worth the price of admission, which is free if you're watching on ESPN2. He's one of the great attacking players in USL Championship history. And you can feel the crowd getting frustrated, which is getting the players frustrated, something we did not have in 2020.
Yeah, these fans have waited to come back here for a long time, and I'm sure they're not happy with a early goal here for Hartford, but I'm happy to be here nonetheless, and you can tell that they're getting anxious, wanting a little bit more in the final third. And, I think as much as we said there's going to be growing pains for a new coach in Hartford, there's definitely going to be growing pains here for this Red Bull 2 side who had a lot of transition in the offseason.
Ball over the top, Jamison chasing.
And ultimately, as this, the New York Red Bulls first team gets younger, this team is ultimately going to get younger as well. And you can see, 14-year-old signings. We had, one 14-year-old who eventually turned 15 the next day, then another 15-year-old in Curtis Ofori. So it's definitely an exciting time here, but you can tell that we're going to be seeing a lot of young players here this year.
LaCava trying to get on the end of that one. Him and Edelman looking to link up. You said it. Benito Estrella, who's on the bench for New York Red Bulls 2, signed to a homegrown contract by the MLS side at 14 years old, 11 months, and I think it was 362 days as of course, the youngest player in New York Red Bull history, the 4th youngest player in MLS history. Do you know who the youngest was?
Ready to do?
Yeah. It's pretty easy trivia question,
Yeah,
but you can throw it out there every once in a while.
The fact that you gave me a look there, I was like, it's got to be Freddie Adu, but I didn't know. Maybe you're throwing me a curveball there.
No curveballs. I think as the game gets younger and younger in the U.S. and Canada, and these USL academies and MLS academies continue to produce, as the Kava puts that one into the stands. A little treat for the Hartford Athletic fans who have taken over the parking garage just behind the goal, as they did last year so well. Late in the season, you could see those fans, the drums. When you bang a drum in there, then you can really hear it. The MSU marching band actually practices up there, so gets a lot of use as a musical performance center. Martinez flying forward. Chance here for Auberjan, and on his debut, he scores. What a month it's been. Juan Carlos Auberjan scores to put Honduras in the Olympics, and now opens on his debut for Hartford Athletic, the New York native. And you can see what it means for him.
What a run here for Martinez. Just holds off Acosta the whole way and just puts a perfect ball on a plate there for Obregon. And what a finish there. And just adds to the great couple months he's having here, and he's been on fire. And you can see they've been giving this Red Bull left side trouble. Martinez has been a handful today. He's been getting behind quite a bit, and he just puts it on a plate there. What a finish. And Hartford's been really on the upper hand, which, you know, Red Bull's had some good opportunities in the past probably 15, 20 minutes, and they've weathered the storm, and they're back.
For Auberjan, a huge moment, scores for his new team. 3 goals last year in USL, but for Walmar Martinez, a young man out of Division II soccer, a Californian, comes to an invitational tryout in Hartford, Connecticut, and now finds out he's starting 25 minutes before the first game of the season, gets an assist to put his name in the score sheet for the first time ever. Cap tip to Walmar Martinez for this day, one he will never forget, and one it looks like could be a memorable night for all Hartford Athletic fans and team members. This has been the perfect start for this team to try and turn the page from a good year last year, but a new future going forward.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach Harry Watling is ecstatic right now with this start. You know, they seem to control the game from the start. You know, like I said, weathered a couple of storms with a couple chances for Red Bull too, but they've got the upper hand today.
Carmona curls this one in. Tom Bull attacking it on the far post. Wasn't able to get to it first. That was a brave header there from Jigjigian. Thomas Janjigian, one of the new members of this team, but an experienced USL Championship player. A huge year with Reno last year, leading the points race in the Western Conference. Early ball over the top. Egbo in a battle with the goal scorer. Goes to the ground, no foul called. Now Lewis under pressure. Tom Bull plays out of it calmly. Just south of 10 minutes left to play here in the first half of the first game of the 2021 USL Championship regular season. We get a full season this year, 32 games for every team. Raffanello gonna link up with Carmona. Now LaCava with a long touch. F. Caldwell quick to jump on that one.
Good reaction there from Caldwell. I think it's, again, just a little bit missing there in the Red Bull 2 attacking third, you know, especially in the final third here. It's been a little bit disappointing for them, I'm sure. They'll get back in the locker room, try to make some adjustments here.
Jameson gonna make it a little bit of a brighter start for Hartford. The back heel, beautiful for Hartford Athletic. And so close to making it 3-0 in this first half.
Great opportunity there from Hartford. I think Torres just overcooked that cross a little bit, got caught in the wind, hit a little bit too hard, but they've definitely been very impressive this first half.
Acosta playing in that converted left back position. It's Been a challenge for him as expected. So, it's that one roll out. Look, it should have been Hartford athletic ball, but it'll be a throw into New York Red Bulls 2. New York Red Bulls 2, third in Group F last year in USL Championship play. Third place, you say not that bad. 20 points behind what Hartford did at the top. Hartford able to just squeak out ahead of the Pittsburgh River Hounds by 1 point at the top of Group F after a really big late season win. Their sole victory over Pittsburgh head-to-head. So first ever playoff appearance for Hartford. A heartbreaking 1-0 loss at Dillon Stadium against St. Louis FC. But you got to start somewhere. A big year 2, now looking to make it a bigger year 3, and it's been the start they wanted. Can Daniel Edelman and his teammates cook up here to try and turn the tide late in this first half and maybe steal some momentum? Edelman to serve it in. Up to the far post. Knocked down in the box. Martinez with the clearance. Raffanello can't get his touch under control. Zielinski not able to keep the ball in the attacking third. And Carmona will receive his first yellow card of the season, coming back the other way.
Yeah, really bailed out Aubergeon there. Really had no options up the field. Not a great foul there from Carmona, who picks up a yellow. Seemed to have him surrounded, dealt with, but really bailed them out there.
Let me see the foul here. Taking a attacking player down from behind when they're in transition. A pretty simple yellow card. The second one shown so far in this game from Joshua Encarnacion. Rogers now will settle it for Hartford. You expect for Hartford some time on the ball here with this lead. New York's going to have to go and press and try and generate some opportunities. And Hartford, I think early in the game we saw some possession, and then really it was them pressing New York over the last 25, 30 minutes and not really trying to play through the press that's been successful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's another page out of Coach Watling's book. You know, he said he wants to, get the press going, likes to defend high, play low. So it's they want to dominate every facet of the game, as he mentioned, and I think they're doing a good job of it here. And realizing when maybe it is time to sit back a little bit and be more compact like they were last year. They're a very formidable defensive team last year.
Carmona now coming forward. Gray jerseys all around him. Gets to the end line, able to keep the ball alive. And knocked away. Safely looked like by Jinjigian at the center back position. And quickly Acosta and Edelman getting it back into play. Knapp now to the feet of Egbo. Zielinski with his back towards goal and back into the feet of a teammate in Tom Poole. You can just see the way Tom Poole moves. Not like someone who's
got a smooth. Looks like he glides almost, always looking up, always looking for that pass.
To the feet of Carmona. Now LaCava gets the cross away, and Caldwell cleanly takes it in his 6.
Decent ball there from Jake LaCava. I think Omar Sow just took the wrong route there. I think he's got to really stay central there, look for that final ball behind that back line. He looked more for a cutback there, but better there from New York.
So Tom Poole and Martinez go up for it off the head of Tom Poole. And Amar Ashiti over to take the throw in. There'll be a minimum of 1 minute of stoppage time coming up for these two sides. A dream start to the 2021 season for the young coach Harry Watling and his Hartford Athletics side. 2-0 lead. The opening goal by Danny Barrera in the 13th minute off the assist from Gabby Torres, the left back position. And then Auberjon gets his first goal for Hartford. Off an assist from the rookie, Walmar Martinez here, who tries to flick it on, who's been phenomenal as a last-minute addition to the starting lineup in his first career professional soccer game. Knapp now put under pressure. Gets it out to Raffanello. A lot to talk about for New York Red Bull 2 and Coach Wolinek's side going into the halftime locker room, Connor, and going to look to, you'd assume, get some energy into this team and then figure out how to get some movement in the attack.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they need there. They need a spark right now. You can, if you look around this field, you got a lot of faces that are, pointing down right now, shoulders shrugged. I think they need a lift of life right here. And I think as much as they need.
Chance here for Jamison right off the free kick. And he puts his opportunity high. That'll be the final kick of the first half.
As much as they need a jolt of life in the offensive end, they need some consistency in the back. Those are two goals that realistically probably shouldn't have been scored. There's not great marking in the box, and I think that's something that's going to be a talking point.
But they were, and that's because that man, Danny Barrera, knows exactly where to find the seams. The all-time leading appearance man for Hartford Athletic, leading a new group out for year 3, but still the same Danny Barrera for the side from Connecticut. A 2-0 lead on the road to start the Harry Watling era for Hartford Athletic. We've got first half highlights, a look around the league, and second half action, all coming up for you here on ESPN+. Team, and then figure out how to get some.
I'm a Verizon engineer, part of the team that built 5G right, the only one from America's most reliable network. We designed our 5G to make the things you do every day better. With 5G nationwide, millions of people can now work, listen, and stream in Verizon 5G quality. And in parts of many major cities where people can use massive capacity, we have ultra-wideband, the fastest 5G in the world. This is the 5G that's built for you. This is 5G built right, only from Verizon.
We believe healthcare can keep getting better. That we can make it simpler, kinder, and even more miraculous. So we'll keep pushing ourselves to make our best even better. Because that means you will keep getting better too. Hackensack Meridian Health. Keep getting better.
The sun's starting to set, but the lights are on. The 2021 USL Championship season finally kicking off. New York Red Bulls 2 hosting Hartford Athletic in an Atlantic Division matchup. We'll get more on that in just a moment as you see a little bit look at what we saw in this first half. And Connor, we came into this game, we talked about two players off the bat, Danny Barrera and Omar Sow. That's a little bit of Jeremy Raffanello, who we'll get to in just a moment. But for Danny Barrera, everything that you'd ask for from your captain, from your leader, you got in that first half.
Yeah. I mean, you're looking for him to, affect this game. You can see there, he just gets in a great spot, nudges off Manny Agbo there, and just finds a perfect little seam there. Torres puts in a perfect ball, gets by Zielinski, and just does so well to just slip that ball into the side netting.
So for Danny Barrera, leading the team out as 31-year-old captain, a big performance from him. On the flip side, Omar Sow, a little isolated at the center forward position.
Yeah, you can tell. I mean, walking off the field here, Omar Sow looked a little bit frustrated. Isolated, I think, is a good word for it. Really couldn't find too much combining with everyone around him. I'm sure they're going to look to get more help for them up top. And I think it's going to be, he's not going to be happy. I'm sure he's going to have a fire lit under him coming out of the locker room.
7 goals last year. Omar Sow led the team. One of the young men trying to lead the attack this year is Jeremy Raffanello, one of the new additions for New York Red Bulls too. Connor, a guy that you've met a couple times and heard a lot about.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's, flew under the radar a little bit. He played in the Philly Academy. John Wolynek knew him from, watching these academy games and working with the academy. And I think he's been very well received here. He's exceeded expectations, and clearly by getting that start today. And I think it's a player who's going to bolster this attack this year.
Scored his first goal for Indy 11 in the USL Championship last year. Trying to get it done this year now for New York Red Bulls too. And a lot of work for him in the young attack to do for New York Red Bulls too. But for Hartford Athletic, the exact half they were looking for. Coming up, we're going to talk through the new playoff structure, the new setup in USL, and all the action coming forward. We'll be back in just a moment.
I wasn't going to let anything get in my way of achieving my goals, which were to be a professional soccer player. So the first opportunity I got at preseason, when a teammate asked if I was dating a girl or something, I just came out to a bunch of my teammates at dinner and said, no, I'm gay. All I needed to do was that one time, because then I didn't lie. Your sexuality should never limit you from playing the sport you love.
San Diego takes the lead.
We believe healthcare can keep getting better. That we can make it simpler, kinder, and even more miraculous. So we'll keep pushing ourselves to make our best even better. Because that means you will keep getting better too. Hackensack Meridian Health. Keep getting better.
Yeah. Real City.
New York Red Bulls 2 against Hartford Athletic to start the 2021 season in Atlantic Division play. Get used to that term. 4 divisions now in the USL Championship. That's what the Atlantic Division would have looked like last year. All of these teams will play against each other 4 times over the course of the season. 2 home, 2 away for everyone, and that leaves 4 extra games of the 32 to play against some other sides. But as you can see, some really strong teams in the Atlantic Division, and trying to make that playoffs a new setup. So the top 4 teams from every division will make the postseason, and then those teams will mix. The number 1 seed from one division will play the number 4 seed from the other division in their conference, still at Eastern and Western Conference, with an opportunity to match up in the final. So all these games mean so much especially these division games, which is the bulk of the season. And you saw we got started last week. Louisville City with a 2-0 win against Atlanta United 2. Paulo Del Piccolo, one of the guys who has carried Louisville to this incredible run over the last few years with 2 goals. And FC Tulsa winning in the Oklahoma Derby over OKC Energy. As we said, some big games coming up later tonight on ESPN2 and over the course of the weekend. More teams start to get started in this 2021 season. So much to look forward to over the course of this season. Some big question marks for a lot of teams. One team that doesn't, Tampa Bay Rowdies. First in the East last year, 15 returning starters. They've added Duba dos Santos. They look to be ready to continue on that run.
Yeah, picture of consistency always, and you know they're going to be battling for hardware at the end of this year.
Neil Collins put expected to be strong as well. A lot of good teams coming into this year. A few teams down in Texas who have added a ton of talent as well in San Antonio and El Paso. Let's take a look at this first half stats. New York Red Bull suit 60% possession. That's the last thing New York Red Bulls do want to see.
Yeah, it's definitely out of the ordinary. I mean, I think it's almost Hartford got these goals and they're challenging them to break them down similar to last year. They kind of did a similar game plan here, and you know they don't need to get out. They don't need to press it with the ball. They're going to dare New York to break them down.
And when you talk about New York Red Bulls and New York Red Bulls too, the key to this entire thing is the strong academy that they've set up, and an incredible new documentary feature coming out from Bleacher Report Football called The Academy. Let's take a look real quick at a promo.
To become a professional player, I mean, it would be a dream come true. It would really show to myself and, you know, everyone that has seen me play that hard work pays off.
It's a lot of sacrifices that I have to make.
It's a pressure that we want them to embrace and want them to thrive upon, because if you're good enough, you're old enough.
When you get your opportunity, you go out there and showcase yourself.
For players to be able to go through our academy to USL to first team, it just creates the opportunities in the pathway that really allows to move up the organization.
Success when it comes to my responsibilities is how many kids have signed professional.
When I'm playing soccer, I'm always competitive no matter what I am. I mean, everyone else there wants a pro contract, and you know, you got to fight for it.
It can't happen overnight. You have to continue to work on it and work on it. I would have to say I want my name to be amongst the greats.
Well, some big-time young talent in that series. You can catch it every week on Bleacher Report Football. Austin Brummett, Sergin Goma on the bench here today will try and help make a difference. Coming up, a big second half of action to start the year. Hartford Athletic leading 2-0. More soccer coming up here on ESPN+.
Every year, the average person generates nearly 1 ton of waste, with more than 250 million tons of garbage being buried in U.S. landfills annually. At Covanta, we are working to change that and ensure no waste is ever wasted. We believe the materials discarded every day should be utilized to their fullest potential to preserve the world's valuable resources and generate clean energy for our communities and the world we live in. This is how Covanta is powering today and protecting tomorrow.
Yeah, Real City.
Fans taking in all the action here at MSU Soccer Park in Montclair, New Jersey. David Goss and Connor Lade here on ESPN Plus with you at home. Thanks so much for joining us. A phenomenal first half of action. Let's take a look at those highlights, and perfect start for Hartford Athletic.
Yeah, still can't get over Danny Barrera. That little nudge there. Offsides, comes back, nudges himself onside. Does so well there to get the goal, and, you know, shows why he is the captain. Look at that, just silky finish in the back of the net there. I mean, what else? What more can you ask for from your captain?
You talk about if you're good enough, you're old enough. Some things come with experience. Danny Barrera, the most experienced player on the field. And as you said, that veteran touch and then the calm finish. The assist from Gabby Torres. And then Hartford Athletic continuing to be dangerous even when they didn't have possession. This time in transition, Walmar Martinez debut.
Yeah, Martinez is so holds off Acosta the whole time. Really just lacks marking there from New York. I mean, you can see Egbo and Zielinski just get caught between Auberjon, and he just finds a way right on the 6, slots it in easy as you like, and New York's not going to be happy watching that back, and I'm sure John Wolynek has had some words for them in the locker room trying to light a fire under them.
And the last person you want to leave open in the 6-yard box is that man, Juan Carlos Auberjon. Queens native, Met Oval, as well as Christ the King High School. Played down in Texas the last 2 years, so the Honduran Youth International will love to score that goal in front of his friends and family here and to give his new team that jolt, that security with a 2-0 lead. As Joshua Encarnacion, our head official, blows the whistle for the second half here. The opening game of the season, New York Red Bulls 2 and Hartford Athletic. David Goss and Connor Lade with you here on ESPN Plus. We've been waiting quite a long time for this one. Late April, just snuck it in before May. Kickoff to the season, which, of course, normally rare here in the United States, but unfortunately become a bit more common now over the last year and a half. And a perfect start for Hartford. Hartford Athletic in their first game under new head coach Harry Watling, just 31 years old, the youngest coach in the USL Championship. And the perfect start for him on the field. Off the field, a little bit chaotic. 14 players available, a late scratch about a half hour before the game. Preston Iborta Taka forced out of the starting lineup. And Wilmar Martinez forced into the starting lineup, and he's got an assist in this game. So it's really all worked out for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't really go wrong so far yet today. They've been really, all the bounces have gone their way. They've been the better side, and New York's going to have to find a spark here to get back in this match.
No changes for either side coming out of the halftime locker room. 5 subs available for either team, as Edelman will be called for the handball. So a lot of opportunity for these two teams to make changes. You could see there, though, minute and a half in, Edelman picks up the yellow card, but this is what New York Red Bulls 2 would have been talking about in the halftime locker room is let's press high, let's change the tempo of this game.
Yeah, nothing really changes now besides you're in a hole with 2 goals, but I think the approach is going to be the same. You know, they're going to want to press, they're going to want to be aggressive, and you know, interesting yellow card there from Edelman. I think he got a yellow for an intentional handball.
Talking after.
I don't know. It looked like he had his arm raised, so I'm not sure. I mean, it could have chirped a little bit. I know John Wolynek said he does have some fire in him, so something they really like about Daniel Edelman.
Looks like he just walked in from his bar mitzvah. Doesn't look like a lot of fire, but that's what we've heard, and he really jumped out to a lot of players over the last year, training with the MLS side in preseason. I know you've talked to guys who have been impressed by what he can do, as Omar Sow picks this ball up.
Absolutely.
Into the feet here of Carmona. Flying into the box. Carmona clips it on goal and flies over the top of the crossbar.
Yeah, he's drawn great reviews from his time with the first team in preseason. As you can see here, Omar Sow finds Carmona. Just is on his weaker right foot. I'm sure he would prefer to be on that left foot. Just sent the cross sailing there. Looking at the final third, like I mentioned before, the disconnect is a little bit there. Just looking for a little bit more in that final third.
So LaCava now trying to continue to turn the screws early in this second half. Purpo with a good clearance there. Auberjohn read it well and just couldn't get it down into his path. And Carmona earns the foul, but that moment there is the first time we've seen Carmona run past So and So really set anyone else up.
Yeah, it's been good, much better. Omar's been combining Carmona. You know, they look for that in that 10. You know, you're not only finding the ball underneath in that red zone that I like to call it, you have to stretch the game behind, and he did well there. You know, I think something that I'm seeing here, is look like it's a little stretched right now, something that Red Bull doesn't like. You know, you want to see this this back line moving up, therefore pushing up Edelman and Knapp. It looks like it's a little disconnect right now, and I'm sure they're going to want to see tighter between the lines. Not only defensively, but it's helping to sustain this attack for New York.
And more Tom Bull making his debut in the New York Red Bull 2 side, as well as his debut here in the United States at center back. And then Manny Egbo converted right back in his second year in the New York, New Jersey area. So it'll be something to watch out for as Hartford's taken advantage of the openings they've found. 40% possession in the first half, but 2 goals. Exactly the way they would have scripted it up. Walmar Martinez now in a conversation with their head official, Joshua Encarnacion. And a yellow card finally shown to Martinez, our 4th of the game. Encarnacion assisted in this one by Tom Feliz and Patrick Casey as his assistant referees, and Christian Centeno, our 4th official here at MSU Soccer Park. So a free kick coming for New York, a chance to push some numbers forward, although Tom Bull and Egbo still sitting back behind the play. Corona going short to Tom Bull. The big center back clips it in towards So, headed away by McGlynn. Hartford still trying to repel those New York Red Bull 2 attacks, and finally won away by Purpa. Slide tackle and battle between him and Knapp. The body's flying in now as these 2 teams know exactly what this means, and sets of players have had a lot of time to think about this game. Season debut, Martinez into the feet of Jamison. Jamison just knocked off the ball by Egbo.
Yeah, Egbo gives him a little bump there. Got to be careful, but does well just to off-balance him enough where it just turns the ball over right to his feet. Pretty good counterattack there from Hartford. Just couldn't put the pieces together, but you can tell that they're not going to just sit back this whole game. You got to be careful while you're pushing because they can hurt you.
Ashiti with the throw in, and Jamison trying to keep that play in. Ball somehow bounces off the tree back into play. So saved Select Sport America ball.
What'd I tell you? All the bounces are going their way today.
It's been an ideal start for Hartford. Exactly what you want for a franchise coming off a huge year last year, but still with a ton of changes to continue that role in that streak. Well defended by Raffanello, turned back over. Beautiful turn from Rogers. Trying to lift it over the back line. Knapp with a mistake. Tom Bull there to save him. Good header one from Torres. Hartford right now winning the 50-50s.
Yeah, you can tell they're definitely winning the battle on the day. I mean, they're definitely more physical right now. A little bit more than New York does. They're going to look for them. If they really want to get back in this match, they're going to have to start by winning the battles.
Martinez turns it over to Edelman. Edelman returns the favor. Now Knapp trying to get Acosta on the ball. Been a tough first half for Matthew Acosta. Academy player, first professional soccer game, playing out of position, a natural defensive midfielder at left back. You assume there would have been a lot of conversation with him at halftime, just trying to settle him down.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's always going to be tough being an academy player playing in these games, and out of position no less is going to be definitely tough. And I think he showed well in the preseason, like we mentioned. You just got to settle him down a little bit. You know, he's a tidy player on the ball. Just keep the ball moving, do the little things right, and you'll get back in this game just fine.
Carmona lays it off for Knapp. Out wide now for Raffanello. And his early ball hit high and through the box. No one able to get on the end of that one. Jeremy Raffanello, the Philadelphia Union Academy. Spent some time with Penn State before heading over to Europe and then ending up under Martin Rennie in Indy 11. Indy 11 kicking off against Birmingham Legion later this weekend. Two of the very interesting teams in the Central Division. Indy 11, a phenomenal year last year. A lot of changes. Tyler Pasher has been tearing it up down with the Houston Dynamo. Still a lot of talent on that Indy 11 side. Of course, Birmingham continuing to load up this year, picking up J.J. Williams for full-time, as well as Junior Flemings when his suspension is finished in about 2 games. So Tommy Sohn looking to go from playoff qualifier to playoff match winner here in 2021. No foul called. Now it'll come from Joshua Encarnacion. So a dangerous free kick coming up here for Hartford.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to get Danny Barrera on the ball. You know it's going to be a great service in here. So New York's going to really have to do well on these set pieces. And anytime Hartford's getting a chance, you know you can't really give up another goal here tonight, or else, you know, this thing could get out of reach a little quicker than you'd like.
So free kick coming here for Hartford. Rogers and Barrera standing over it. Rogers fakes the short attempt. And now he will swing it into the box. It'll be Barrera instead. And Knapp on top of that one to take care of it. Own the moment in 2021 with the latest in Clear personal audio products. The USL and Clear Audio have partnered to offer fans a chance to win headphones designed to get you ready for the match. Visit uslchampionship.com/sweepstakes and enter the code CLEARESPN. That's CLEERESPN by April 30th to enter. Opportunity to upgrade your headphones. There's an opportunity for Hartford to upgrade their goals here in this one. A corner kick coming. And the wind blows the ball off. Daniel Edelman and Rogers going back and forth there in the corner. Corner kick served in. Knocked down. It was Omar Sow coming back to help defend. And that will be a throw-in deep in the attacking half for Hartford. Torres with the assist on the opening goal from the left back spot. Now foul will go against Jamison. A little burst of energy to come out of the half for New York Red Bulls too. Hartford seems to have weathered that storm, brought the tempo back to where they want it.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see that, you know, they're, you know, under the guidance, you know, it could be under the guidance of Danny Barrera just settling them down a little bit. I think that's what we're going to look for here in New York and see who's going to really take this team by the scruff of their neck and really give them a burst right now. You're going to look for the leadership, and this is a great test early on for a very young team in New York in itself. So very interesting here and see how this game will progress, but Hartford sure does look comfortable right now.
Jack Ginian as well, we saw there with that ball out of the back. 4 years as a full-time starter for Reno in the USL Championship, so that was a thing or two about winning at this level. Arthur Rogers has looked really composed in central midfield to start the season here as well. Raffanello looks to go quickly. Doesn't stop the ball, so it'll come back to be retaken.
It's a shame. It looked like a pretty good ball there from Raffanello.
It'll live on in our hearts, if not in the run of play. So we mentioned a few times, but for this Hartford Athletics squad, not a full set of options on the bench. Ability to make 3 changes. One of them, of course, a goalkeeper, so you'd expect that would not be a change they would make with Carlos Marancio on the bench. So I believe it's Richie Schlentz, left back out of Villanova, and Sebastian Elney, the former New York Red Bull 2 striker, as the options for this Hartford Athletics side.
As warm-ups go, that's a pretty lonely one down in the corner.
They'll feel like it's the 90th minute and everyone's already gone in. LaCava looking to create an opening Too far for Raffanello, handled by McGlynn. Acosta with the ball in. Opportunity for Edelman, and he can't wrap his foot around it.
Much better there from New York, getting a little bit more sustained attack. Good little ball there from Acosta. Not sure if he was picking out Edelman or it was a missed cross, but good spot nonetheless from Edelman. Just can't wrap his foot around it. But much better here from New York.
You see New York Red Bulls too. A lot of numbers high up the field for this goal kick. Blasted long by Caldwell. Tom Bull misses it. That means Martinez in on goal here. And he takes the early shot, and Egbo did just enough to recover and kill the play.
Called it there with the high numbers. You got to be careful on that ball with Tom Bull. Just misreads it. Acosta's not there, but Manny Egbo is there to cover and force Martinez into a shot he's probably going to look back and not be happy with. But got to be careful, like I said, because 2-0 is doable. 3-0 may be out of reach.
Edelman knocks that one back. Egbo clipping it up the line. And Zielinski attempting an acrobatic touch, but not able to get it under control. For New York Red Bulls too, potential changes. 3 defenders on the bench. Tim Timofchenko, a Russian center back. The opportunity to come on the field for New York Red Bulls too, as well as Max Andrews and Curtis Ofori. Martinez getting into the box once again. This tackle won by Acosta. Up the field for LaCava. But the attacking options for New York Red Bulls too that they'll be interested in. Roald Mitchell, Bento Estrella, who's coming off an injury. We don't expect to see much, if any, of him. And Austin Brummett, who you saw at halftime in the trailer for the Academy on Bleacher Report Football. A big-time prospect, U.S. Youth International, New Hampshire native, was in the Seattle Sounders Academy, made his USL Championship debut for Tacoma Defiance out in the Pacific Northwest, but now in the New York Red Bull system, and looks like he's getting ready to come on.
Yeah, I think a player that this team's going to look to, that spark we're talking about, they're hoping that Austin Brummett's going to be that player, and player who's, has an interesting journey to the club here, but, some decent experience under his belt, and hopefully for this New York side, he's going to be that spark.
And now Barrera trying to turn defense into attack. Raffanello comes back as well defensively. Knapp surrounded by gray jerseys. Was able to sneak out of it. So Brummett, a player coming on the field, can play as a 9, can play as a 10, play out wide. We know he's got goal-scoring instincts, and player I think Coach Wolenek talks about can combine around the box and maybe help crack open this defense.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see if we can get maybe a little bit combination from the wings. I'm interested to see where he's going to come in from. LaCava is going to, it may be Raffanello. Not sure who he's coming in for. Maybe they're taking out a 6 and get a little bit more aggressive. Maybe change that formations, but should be interesting. But a player that, can spark this attack, and I think they just need a little bit more.
You can see the wind whipping across this field from left to right. As Jamison now one-on-one with Egbo, tried to go around him. And Egbo and Lewis are able to link up and defend.
Yeah, Egbo showing good strength there to hold off Jamison, who's a pacey player in itself. Just tries to get around him, but uses his body well to shield the ball for Lewis to come get.
So that wind is holding up a lot of the New York Red Bulls too. Long balls, which has been dangerous so far. It's kind of thrown Hartford off, and it's given a few extra yards for Hartford as that shot comes in. First time touch for Auberjohn. And now our first substitution of the game and of the season. Here as New York Red Bulls 2 will take off Wilkeman Carmona, Venezuelan number 10, and bring in Austin Brummett. You'd assume, Connor, a like-for-like switch in that spot.
Absolutely, yeah. Talked to John Wolenek, even with the availability of Wiki Carmona for today, he was in the discussion to play that 10 role, so it's definitely a like-for-like here. See if he can spark this attack, combine with Omar Sow, give him a little bit more help up there, and see if he can spark, maybe sending in Jake LaCava, get him on the run, which we haven't seen a whole lot today. And, you know, one of his big strengths is getting him on the move.
Knapp and Edelman trying to get out of trouble, and they're able to do so into the feet of Acosta. Now Ashiti looking to go back the other way. Good feet from the young Ghanaian. For Carmona, 13 minutes in the season opener in MLS action 2 weeks ago against Sporting KC. Then he gets about 60 minutes here. Not a lot to take from it. What have you seen from him so far?
Yeah, I think looked a little frustrated in the first half. You know, plays weren't totally coming off. You know, looking to combine things where there was a disconnect there. But, you know, I think it's early on in the season. They're looking to get some continuity, you know, establish these relationships that, you know, in reality, a lot of these players haven't played all together. And so it's always going to be tough. But I think the better days ahead for Wiki Carmona.
And, of course, Venezuela's been a good spot of talent for New York Red Bulls, too. Christian Casares, Edgardo Rito, two of the better performers over the last few years for New York Red Bulls, too, as well as New York Red Bulls and talent across the line coming to the United States from Venezuela. Jefferson Soteldo signing with Toronto FC, of course. Jefferson Savarino is now tearing it up in Copa Libertadores, formerly a RSL player in his time. Edelman with an early ball for LaCava. And LaCava now off the foot of Brummett. One-on-one with McGlynn. Gets to his left foot, and the shot saved by Caldwell.
Good little play there. It's exactly what they're looking for with LaCava. Get him behind, isolate him one-on-one. He gets by Sheedy and really just doesn't quite get enough on that shot, and Caldwell makes a good save.
If you're on the road and can't catch the match, turn on SiriusXM FC, North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio, featuring Ray Hudson, Tony Meola, Rodney Marsh, and the brand new USL All Access featuring Mike Watts and Devin Kerr every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Fans of the USL can now listen to the best matches of the week, along with action from MLS, the Premier League, UEFA Champions League on SiriusXM FC channel 157, or on your SiriusXM app. You can also hear Extra Time Radio twice a week. David Goss.
A little plug?
Not necessary, but very excited for Mike and Devin to take that USL show this year and give you some of the best coverage of this league. 31 clubs. Surprising year in USL. Not a ton of expansion, but Oakland Roots coming in, which maybe as exciting an expansion team as there's been in a little while. The colors alone worth it with them. And I think you look at a USL that's gotten stronger, it feels like, because maybe there's been less movement. So a lot of teams sort of ready to hit the ground running, and then some really big additions that have come into the league.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely an exciting time. It's going to be an exciting 2021 for USL. I'm sure everyone's excited to get a little bit more normalcy back here and, you know, be able to hit the ground running, like you said, for a lot of these clubs. A lot of the newer clubs have had a taste of what the league is and have built a foundation, so it's an exciting time.
I think Bob Lilly said it best when asked about his schedule. Probably complained for a little while and then said, but I'm glad there's 32 games. We're at least back to that. And so it's going to be a really fun season going through, of course, with these new 4 divisions. So a lot of rivalry. All the Texas teams get an opportunity to play each other a few times. And, of course, the 2 originals left over in the Pittsburgh Riverhounds and Charleston Battery get a chance to go back to battle in the Atlantic Division. Former New York Red Bulls, too, helping lead the division. Evan Loro and Jordan Scarlett, one of the best defensive units, alongside last year's Defensive Player of the Year in Forrest Lasso down in Tampa. And, of course, Speedy Williams now looking to anchor the Miami midfield after his success both here for New York Red Bulls, too, as well as in Louisville, as Raffanella's off and running. Good chase and battle between him and Torres. Raffanello comes away. Early ball through the lines for LaCava. LaCava with the chance, and he puts it in the net. The opening goal of 2021 for New York Red Bulls 2, and they cut the lead in half for the Hartford Athletic.
That is a great Red Bull goal there. I think that's exactly what they're looking for. That's the spark. I think Jeremy Raffanello does so well. Great bit of individual play. see holds off Torres so well, gets his head up, can see Jake LaCava in space, just puts a perfectly weighted ball, and then Jake LaCava just gets it on his left foot. Like we said, a great two-footed player and just powers it in the back of the net. You could sense a little bit of frustration released with that shot.
LaCava, 5 goals last year. A quiet start to the game, as you said. You could feel the emotion as we get back to action here. And he cuts the lead in half for the New York Red Bulls, too. And you can feel the energy of the crowd. The sun is down. The lights are on. The season has finally arrived. And Hartford Athletic, a great start to this game, finally hit in transition. You said it. As New York Red Bull 2, a goal, as you will see.
Absolutely. Get in transition. That's where they like to live. Just get on the move. Jeremy Ruffino does well. So strong. It was a long way for him to run, and Torres was tracking back so well. Just used a bit of strength, put Torres off, and like I said, just a perfectly weighted ball there to Jake LaCava. Had a couple options. He could have, kept driving himself, but did so well to find the open man, and Jake LaCava does the rest, and a very impressive goal there.
And credit to Omar So, occupies those center backs, makes the run. Option as well, but gives that opening for LaCava to fill, and So and LaCava expected to lead that attack this year as they did last year. 5 goals for Jake LaCava, 7 for Omar So. Egbo knocks it away. And the Rampage back behind Hartford Athletics defending goal. Chance to sing and dance for them. These fans have waited for quite a long time. And the foul will go against Knapp. He hacks down Torres, so a dangerous free kick coming here for Hartford. They could really steal the momentum in this one with a big goal to make it 3-1.
Yeah, New York has got to be really careful here, especially on these set pieces. You could tell Hartford's been creative. You never know with Danny Barrera and Rogers standing over this ball what's going to happen. So this is a very important free kick to keep this momentum in their favor.
We've seen some creativity from Rogers and Barrera in their set piece delivery so far in this game. The wind blowing from behind Barrera's back. Rogers serves it into the far post, headed on goal, and just wide of Luca Lewis's post.
That was a fantastic ball in from Rogers. Just really does so well to whip that ball in, and just can't get steered on frame, but a dangerous moment there for Hartford.
Tombul putting Auberjon on his skates there. New York looking to get out of the back quickly. Brummett, his inclusion's done everything Coach Wolnick wanted. He got LaCava more active in the attack. And New York were finally able to get their first goal of the season. LaCava comes back and recovers that one off the touch from Ashiti. Early ball from Egbo intercepted. And it was Zielinski cutting in front of Torres, but Torres bringing Zielinski down. Our New York Red Bull 2 free kick.
Yeah, dangerous ball there from Manny Egbo, and Torres gets a good jump on it. Zielinski gets the brunt of that tackle. It looks like they might be taking a peek at this one because it's like he caught an elbow or something in the head, not sure.
And now the first sub of Harry Watling's Hartford Athletic career. It'll be Richie Schlentz coming on for Walmar Martinez. So Schlentz, naturally a left back, and you can see him talking now. And it looks like he will swap wings with Bradford Jamieson. We assume he'll play on the left wing in front of Torres. And so Egbo standing over this one. Tombul finally at 6'4" coming forward into the box. And Egbo clips that one towards Tombul. The wind takes it everywhere. And Caldwell able to get under it.
Tell you what, great debut there from Martinez. Did so well, especially in that first half, to really put the game on his terms, and was very impressive streaking down that line. It was a handful for New York to deal with.
Schlentz, another player who spent some time in the Philadelphia Union Academy. 22-year-old out of Westchester, Pennsylvania. Not Westchester, Westchester. Spent some time at Villanova, another school I think you're a fan of.
No, Don't.
Manny Egbo could care less about Big East rivalries. Steps into the attack. David Goss and Connor Lay joining you here on ESPN+. Some big games coming up later. Bradford Jamison, the Forest Old Side, LA Galaxy 2. Kicks off their season against Sacramento Republic. And on ESPN2, Mike Watts and Devin Kerr have San Diego Loyal against Phoenix Rising, one of the must-watch games of this first weekend. And you can see the Wind just doing wild things with the ball right now.
Ooh.
Crunching tackle there between Rogers and Edelman. Both come away from it okay. Schlentz now with his first touch in the game. And Acosta's able to handle it defensively.
Yeah, great play there from Brummett. Gets taken down from Rogers.
LaCava with the chest, drops it in the pass.
Saucy little chest there from LaCava. If I'm New York, I'm looking to stretch this gameplay behind. This Wind is holding up everything. And honestly, in that first half, playing with the Wind, a lot got away from them. But if they want to get back in this game, you can tell, you want to stretch this game with Jake LaCava and Raffanello and Omar So. I think there's a lot of room to play behind with this Wind.
And we could see for Caldwell coming out on that last free kick. He read it well, got under it, but it definitely moved on him a couple times. I wonder, Connor, for a really young team, for a lot of guys in their professional debut, is that something they'll recognize?
I think that's where you're going to look to someone like a Manny Egbo, or even you could see Daniel Edelman is looking to spark this team, and he's looking for guys even at the beginning of this first half to run behind, and he was, gesturing. It looked like, you're not going to have a lot of success playing underneath this team because look at the low block that Hartford is in. They're very organized, so you're going to need to stretch this behind to give yourself a little bit of room.
Acosta looking to stretch, gets the cross into the hands of Caldwell. Really impressive for Harry Watling's side. He hasn't had a ton of time, a new team, maybe not the pieces where they expect to play, but you said it, really organized when they sit in their defensive block.
Yeah, and it's definitely, it looks like smooth transition from last year where, Jaidi had them playing a similar way where they were, even when they were up, they got in a low block, and it was very, very tough to break them down.
Space out wide for LaCava, the goal scorer. Early ball played in across the face of goal and across the face of everyone, and out for a goal kick. Fans, you can follow New York Red Bulls too, as well as the Hartford Athletic and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN+, home to USL, MLS, Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Join the more than 12 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN Plus and watch the championship live every week. Sign up at ESPNplus.com. Even more soccer than that. Sometimes you get the English Championship, which means you get to watch Daryl Dike, which is like the best experience in life. There's Dutch League. I think there's Danish League.
Never a shortage here.
Never a shortage.
Looks like we're going to see a familiar face coming on here for Hartford. Sebastian Elney going to make his debut for Hartford against his former club.
Both sides will make a sub here. Roald Mitchell will come on for New York Red Bulls too. Mitchell spent some time with New York Red Bulls too last year. Not able to make his debut. A lot of injuries over the course of the year. And as you said, it's Sebastian Elney. Led the line last year for much of the season for New York Red Bulls too. In his second year, the Boca Raton native, 3 goals last season, 4 goals in 2019. His first 2 years in professional soccer. A guy who's kind of perfect for these moments, who can hit you on the counter if there's space, but can really hold the ball up and control.
Exactly what I was thinking there. He's going to give them a little bit of calm, hold the ball up there. Obregon was doing a good job of stretching the game behind, but I think Elney's going to give them a little bit of sense of holding the ball. Definitely can hurt you if they give him a little bit of room. I know he scored against them in the preseason. Coach Watling said he did perfectly to not celebrate too much, and he said that Red Bull groomed him correctly in that sense, although he said he would have taken his shirt off and been running around the field if it was him. But I'm sure he's anxious to get on the score sheet here against his former team.
Elney and Marilyn Terrapin. High prospect coming through the high school ranks, U.S. Youth International. Still finding his feet in the professional game, but you could see for him from year 1 to year 2, getting more comfortable, getting that starting role. You could see him grow as a player, and Hartford seems like the perfect place for him to take the next step.
Absolutely, yeah. Good attacking group. He's going to really bolster here. He's going to be give them a different look. I know that Coach Watling said that him and Auberjon are going to really complement one another and going to give 2 different looks for this side going forward. And so it's going to be interesting to see how he does here. I think we're anxious to see what Roald Mitchell will do here. I know John Wolenek is very high on him, worked with him in the academy, and has been anxious to get him integrated into this team. So he's got some things to his game that they feel really can translate to this level. So we'll see what he can provide with this game.
So Mitchell adding to the list of professional soccer debutants in this game. Of course, Martinez for Hartford Athletic, as well as a number of young New York Red Bull 2 players. Acosta getting the start at left back, and Michael Knapp getting the start at defensive midfield. Jamison did a little bit too much there to throw Acosta off, so we enter the final 10 minutes of the first game of the 2021 regular season in USL Championship. Good action so far between these 2 teams. Hasn't looked like game 1. Hasn't been a lot of rust for either of these sides.
For sure. Yeah, I think it's been very interesting. It's a tale of 2 halves almost, maybe a little more than a half here, but Red Bull's certainly back in this game, and they're pushing to find this equalizer here. And it looks like Hartford's surviving a little bit right now, and I'm sure they're going to look to get this ball field and find a little bit more sustained possession in New York's half, but it looks like they're just holding on right now.
Coach Harry Watling looking to win his first ever game as a senior team manager, just 31 years old, the youngest manager in the USL Championship, probably be the youngest manager in most leagues you popped into, whatever level it is, whatever country in the world. He only had 2 subs to go with. He's now finally used both of them, and now he's got to trust that his group can get through these final 10 minutes. As you said, it's been more pressure from New York Red Bulls too, but Hartford's handled most of it fairly comfortably. Is there another gear here from the home side? Ball goes off the side of Knapp's body, so play on, says Joshua Encarnacion. Dangerous turnover there from Omar Sow. Elney chasing down Egbo, and Egbo goes down holding his face, and Sebastian Elney into the thick of things quickly, picks up a yellow card, our 6th of the match.
Yeah, Elney with a big tackle there on Egbo. Can see Zielinski give him a little shove, 2 played together.
And it was maybe not that much contact, but it was at full speed, which I think was part of Egbo's reaction, I guess you could call it.
Probably looked worse.
Not as good as, I don't know if you watched Portland Timbers against Club America, CCL, Aquino for Club America, went down off the field and then dragged himself back on the field to start holding some random body part. It was a pretty phenomenal moment.
Can't teach that gamesmanship.
It's next level stuff. That's what the winners have. Aquino, of course, Peruvian international, so has played at a pretty high level. A few internationals, part of these teams, Nicholas Cardona, playing in World Cup qualifying just a few weeks ago for Puerto Rico, the first Hartford Athletic player to play in an international. And as we said, Auberjon, the goal in this game, the goal for Honduras to qualify for the Olympics against the U.S., so he could be an Olympian coming up in July. The long shot comes in here, and it goes wide of Lewis's goal.
Barrera gave that one a go. I think he's thinking about the last game that these 2 faced on this field, and there was a couple screamers. Connor McGlynn showed us a great goal, and I think Denny Barrera is trying to recreate a little bit of that magic.
I think number 5 on SportsCenter's top 10 that night from Connor McGlynn. You had a good call on it. You did good, Connor. Connor Lade and Connor McGlynn.
Had to give props to the Connors. I'm a little biased.
Connor McGlynn, a Middle Village, Queens native, the Gacci Academy and Siena University, and has slotted in comfortably at center back. Is going to be a big part of what Coach Watling is looking to do this year. A really good start for him. He is trying to keep this lead together. Wins that header. Omar Sow continuing to pursue the ball, and it'll roll out. And it'll be a goal kick for Hartford. 13th minute goal from Danny Barrera got us started off the assist from Gabby Torres. The first of the year, of course, for either of them here in the opening game. Auberjan, his opening goal for the team. 3 goals last year for Rio Grande Valley down in Texas. His opening goal in Hartford Athletic colors, set up by Walmar Martinez in his professional soccer debut. That one will roll all the way through. It took a touch off of Zielinski, so it'll be a throw-in here for Hartford, a chance for them to push their lines up and waste some time.
Well, much needed breather here. Soak up as much time as you can for Hartford. I think they're going to be slowly walking towards this and get everyone up, get it into the corner. You can see Danny Barrera making his way down there and just try to milk some of this clock.
So Barrera goes down there, and he's able to earn a free kick. Frustration for New York Red Bulls, too, as they can feel the seconds ticking away. And a huge opportunity here for Hartford and their 2 center backs, McGlynn and Jajigian, heading forward for this one. So taking a chance to try and seal the door here for Hartford.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what they have here. I mean, Red Bull's not holding any person upfield, so might as well throw the 2 big guys in the box.
So Rogers now comes over this one. Serves in another dangerous ball. It bounces in the box and goes in. I think that one's going to go down for Arthur Rogers.
There's the dagger. Just a beautiful ball whipped in there from Arthur Rogers. That's that ball that they talk to you about when you're whipping in these balls. Just put it at the back post. Just whips it in. Let's see if anyone gets a touch. Don't think that anyone got a touch on that. Not quite sure, but you throw that at the back post in front of traffic and good things can happen. And Hartford was rewarded there with ultimately what looks like will be a dagger and a win for them.
Elney got close. McGlynn did as well. We'll wait for official confirmation from the referee. And it does go down as a goal for Arthur Rogers, so it goes in untouched. And what a moment for him. He's been phenomenal in this game. We saw the service, almost creating a goal a few minutes ago from a set piece. And as you said, that's the ball you're looking for with the bodies you got in the box and the wind whipping in, and it was exactly what Hartford needed to. It looks like take the first 3 points of the season.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach Harry Watling is thrilled right now. This team has really come in here, set the tone from the beginning, and really has survived that storm. You know, it could have gone the other way with New York getting that goal a little while ago, and, you know, they really held strong, were stout defensively, didn't, you know, they bent, they didn't break, and we'll see. We'll see if they can hold off here.
For Hartford, don't forget last year, they didn't play week 1 of the season. So because of the COVID-19 layoff, they debuted, it was July. It was against this New York Red Bull 2 side. Arthur Rogers made his pro soccer debut in that game. Gets the goal in this one. Sorry, not pro soccer, Hartford athletic debut. Had 1 goal last year. Gets the goal to open up the season this year. Big linchpin of what's going to happen in the center of their park for Harry Watling. He's going to go to sleep with a smile last night. He told us yesterday it was going to be a sleepless night. Didn't know his lineup, didn't know what he wanted to do, but was excited. And he said, if I knew my lineup, we wouldn't be doing our job. These players continue to push him, and this is, as we've said a couple times, this is exactly what this club wanted here in week 1 as Omar Sow puts this one in front of Brummett in the box. The bounce pulls him wide. Back to Zielinski. Zielinski floats a ball in. It bounces through everyone and finally cleared by Jamison.
Yeah, if he had the big headache last night trying to figure out the roster and a shorthanded team, I think this is the perfect dose of a relief right now and clear that headache for him and come out of here thrilled.
He's going to have some good pizza tomorrow in New Haven, I'm sure, as a way to celebrate. LaCava puts a ball in. Brummett inches away. Now Zielinski floats it back into the box. Knapp heads it forward, and Mitchell with the spin couldn't get clean contact on the ball. Schlentz taken down behind the play, and finally the flag goes up. It might be a card coming here for Daniel Edelman, who came in late on that play for New York Red Bulls too. Pushing still here, these final few moments. Week 1 to week 2. They've got 3 straight home games to open the season for New York. They will face off against Charleston, who were the number 2 team in the Eastern Conference basically. Last year doesn't get easier. What do they learn? What do they take? How do they move forward?
Yeah, I think it's a tough pill to swallow. I think they, really didn't get started totally until the second half here, and they showed more life. But I think it's going to take a little bit for this team to, fully build that cohesion and that chemistry with a lot of new faces. You can use as much as you can in the preseason to build that, but nothing replicates these games. And so it's big experiences for a lot of these young players from the academy. I think they get their first game under their belt. They can tick that off and really move on from here and try to take any positives they can.
3 minutes of stoppage time minimum coming up for this game. For Hartford, they will head to Miami for their next game before making their home debut on May 15th against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. As I said last year, Hartford 1 point ahead of Pittsburgh to steal a playoff spot as Mitchell gets in on goal here, clips it over Caldwell, and cleared off the line.
What exactly happened there? I'm not quite sure.
And I believe it's a foul called against Jeff Caldwell.
Got it. It looked like he was motioning towards McGlynn that he was getting the yellow card. Yep, looks like it's a PK.
So it was an opportunity for Mitchell in the run of play here as he got through on the back line. And Caldwell definitely didn't touch the ball. The team contact on Mitchell, and maybe we put a bow on this one too soon here in stoppage time. Looks like Manny Egbo is going to be the one to step up for this one. Egbo scored his first goal for New York Red Bulls from a penalty kick last year against Inter Miami. We'll look to do so once again here against Jeff Caldwell. Manny Egbo to take, and he puts it away. 2 for 2 in a Red Bull jersey. The Englishman makes it 3-2 in the dying minutes, and it's game on, Connor.
I think you're right. We put a bow on this way too early, and Manny Egbo with a clinical PK. It's funny, we had a little bit of an Instagram exchange. He was posting all his PKs from training and a couple from the games, and had a little exchange that he was clinical, and he said it's criminal if you miss from that stage. So he gets away with one there. Great penalty, confident, and Red Bull's still in this game. Let's see if they can close one out here, maybe get an equalizer. Should be an interesting minute or two.
A lifeline really out of nowhere for New York Red Bull too. Good start to the second half, pushing, but it felt like Rogers' goal had maybe put this one away. Elney in, trying to shut the door finally. Missing Luca Lewis's goal. And now Lewis trying to restart quickly. We know it's a minimum of 3 minutes of stoppage time. It's to the center referee's discretion how much to add to that. This ball over the top. Mitchell with the header on. I got to think Roald Mitchell has earned himself a few more minutes with this performance late in this game as Omar Sow comes back from an offside position.
Absolutely. Injected a little bit of life himself. That's what you're looking to do as a substitute. You got it. Just earn that trust with your coach coming off the bench as a young player. Really put his stamp on this match. I mean, he's still pushing, still fighting. Unlucky not to get the goal himself there, but he's had a positive performance and really has turned the tide for this team.
As Elney wins a towering header. Schlentz takes it into the corner. The Pennsylvania native, no rush, trying to suck every second out of this game down in the corner, and it'll be a throw-in in favor of the home side. Zielinski trying to take it as quick as possible. But a bright appearance off the bench for Roald Mitchell as well as Austin Brummett. And Jake LaCava getting a goal in this one. Raffanello an assist, so the attack took a while to click, but it's going to be tough to find minutes for all of these young players. That New York Red Bull side, New York Red Bull 2 side. Edelman trying to speed up play here, and Schlentz in no rush to take this one. So we have passed our minimum of 3 minutes of stoppage time, so we are waiting. Joshua Encarnacion's whistle now, especially the Hartford Athletic fans, many of which have taken the drive down to Montclair, New Jersey to see their team open up the season. Hartford Athletic gear all across MSU Soccer Park. You can hear the drums from their side as well as the Rampage. Another throw in here for New York. Is there one more chance left in this one to steal a point for New York Red Bulls too? Trailing 2-0 in the first half. 3-1 minutes ago. Mitchell off and running now. He puts it wide for LaCava. A little bit of a defection. LaCava now with the shot, and Caldwell makes the save.
That was the chance they were looking for. Wow. I think that ball from Mitchell just got deflected a little bit. Couldn't quite get LaCava out into space like he would have liked, and that's the chance right there, and that's the game.
The two whistles that Harry Watling's been waiting to hear. The 31-year-old wins his debut as a first-team manager for Hartford Athletic, and they take 3 points in the season opener. A huge moment for that man and this club. We'll be back in just a moment with our post-game thoughts and coverage here on ESPN Plus as the Hartford Athletic win the season opener 3-2 on the road against New York Red Bulls 2.
Every year, the average person generates nearly 1 ton of waste, with more than 250 million tons of garbage being buried in U.S. landfills annually. At Covanta, we are working to change that and ensure no waste is ever wasted. We believe the materials discarded every day should be utilized to their fullest potential to preserve the world's valuable resources and generate clean energy for our communities and the world we live in. This is how Covanta is powering today and protecting tomorrow.
I'm a Verizon engineer, part of the team that built 5G right, the only one from America's most reliable network. We designed our 5G to make the things you do every day better. With 5G nationwide, millions of people can now work, listen, and stream in Verizon 5G quality. And in parts of many major cities where people can use massive capacity, we have ultra-wideband, the fastest 5G in the world. This is the 5G that's built for you. This is 5G built right, only from Verizon.
Season has finally returned under the lights at MSU Soccer Park. A big 3-2 nail-biter for the Hartford Athletic. David Goss and Connor Lade with you. Connor, you finally see the two teams out on the field. Thoughts on this first game?
Yeah, we got a little bit of life there at the end. Impressive performance there for Hartford and Coach Harry Watling. Congrats on their first win. New York will be looking for better days ahead here with a lot of young performances, a couple good ones here.
We've got 31 more for these two sides coming up. A full season here in 2021. We're excited that USL Championship Soccer is back here on ESPN Plus. You see the stats from that one. New York Red Bulls 2 dominating possession, but Hartford Athletic more dangerous in the chances they created, and the perfect start to follow up a big year 2 for this Hartford Athletic side. For myself, David Goss, my partner Connor Lade, everyone here a part of our production, thanks for joining us here to start 2021. We'll be back all season on ESPN Plus.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.